Man, such doom and gloom. That's all I hear. It's just starting 2022, and I'm hearing all this stuff that people are quitting RVing. They don't like it anymore. They think that's getting too hard. I don't know. But as far as we know, hey, 2022 is going to be excellent. And we're so excited to be full-time in 2022. Hi everyone, this is David with Tigner Adventures and my wife Ninette and our little cat Tansy. We live full-time in our motorhome, and we just love it. And you hear all these things that things are going bad or whatever. I mean, I read this article, and it talked about how bad the youth are today, and how things are just going downhill. The country's having all kinds of problems, and it's like, wow. And then who authored that? Mark Twain. So when people start talking about how bad things are, I mean, clear back in the 1800s, that's what he was saying. So it's really everybody's perspective. And when it comes to full-time RVing, we don't want to convince people to do it unless they want to. I mean, I don't want to be one that pushes someone into this and then they find out they don't like it, because it for sure isn't for everyone. But we love it ourselves, and we are not planning to go anywhere. So I know there's a few people that have been announcing that they're quitting RVing and they're not doing it anymore because there's so many people coming out and it's so hard to get into places and things like that. I really have no clue what they're talking about, because we do not have those problems. Now, if you're going to go to someplace super popular, you're going to have problems no matter what you do, whether you have an RV or not. And so you do have to plan ahead a little bit. Now, before I get started, I want to give you a little update. We actually went into Mexico today, and hey, here's our new chairs. And a small problem, they're the wrong color. We definitely miscommunicated something between the guy doing the work and us, but I mean, the quality of the work is excellent, but it just ended up being the wrong type of material, the wrong color. Ninette does not like brown material. If you notice our couches behind me, I mean, it's kind of a gray. The flooring we're looking at is probably going to be kind of a gray color and things like that. So the fact that our unit is all brown is, we do like oak, but we don't want everything to be brown. We do like our unit. We do like our, our solid oak doors and things like that. It's well built. We love that, but we don't want our chairs to be brown. And so this did not work out today. However, if you look here, you can see that we don't have any kitchen chairs anymore, because we took our chairs over and we left those with the guy. So he's going to be, and we did pick out material, and we made sure that we are on the same page for this one. So he said, I don't want to make a mistake again. So anyway, he wrote it right actually on the chair, on the materials, exactly the patterns that we picked out. And so he's going to start working on those, and then he's going to get a new pattern of material, splotches and things for us to look at tomorrow. So we got to go back over to Mexico again tomorrow and kind of check things out again. But in the meantime, hey, it's 2022. This is the first week of 2022, and we're so excited because this summer, I mean, right now we're in Yuma, but April 18th, we're leaving Yuma, and we're going to leave for the summer, and we will not be back to Yuma until October 13th. So when I figure that all out, that comes out to 180 days that we're going to, or 180 nights of camping, basically, right, that we're going to be gone from Yuma. And so I've started putting together a outline of what we're going to do. Remember, in my video I shared on New Year's, it was, the plan is we want to go back to Georgia and visit our daughter that lives back there in Warner Robins, and her husband are, I'm sure, excited to see us, right? Just like any kids are excited to see their parents. I'm not sure they're planning on us, because we're going to put down that we're staying there a month. I'm not sure they're going to be excited about that part of it, but we are super excited about it. So anyway, 180 nights we're going to be gone, and it came out to, when I started to work on it, I'm using a program called RV Trip Wizard. And if you remember, I did a review, a 3-part review on RV Trip Wizard. And if you look right here, you can go to the first one of that and start out that series. Just look at what RV Trip Wizard's all about. We really like it because it makes it simple to modify things as we go. So, I mean, it's one thing just to lay the trip out. It's another thing to be able to go back and modify each, you know, like nights that you're going to stay, or delete this item and put something else here and things like that. It's really easy to do that. And so that's why we use it. So if I go down here and you see I've got my RV Trip Wizard here, and if I actually extend this out a little bit, and you can see that I've got, coming from Yuma over here where this little jumping up and down thing is, that's where we're staying at Sundance RV Resort. And if we go all the way over here to the right, well, about right in here I think it is, or maybe actually it's right down here, is Warner Robins, Georgia. And so we're going to take this southern route this summer, and then we're going to kind of come back and we're going to basically stay in the south the whole time this summer. Next year, I'm hoping that we're going to be heading more up towards Michigan and up, maybe even up into Maine, that area, but which will be the northern side of the country. But this year it's all the southern area. And if you look, I have a lot of things on here, but all those things that are really on here are gas stations. So I was just trying to figure out, you know, how, you know, one of the things that RV Trip Wizard does is it tells me when I'm going to run out of gas based on what I told it for my gas mileage. And so I went through and I projected all the gas stations out. But the thing I really need help with is, as I go across the country here, you can see that when we first start the trip, the first portion of this trip is we're going to stay here, for example, which is this Wilcox Playa Wilderness. I did see somebody do a little review on that. It looked really cool, and so I've added that onto my map. And then if we go over here just a little bit further, right in here is Carlsbad's Cavern, and I actually have a few stops in there because I'm not sure which one we're going to actually be able to actually park at. Most of these are dispersed camping areas that are there, and I don't think we'll have too much trouble in the dispersed camping. I think when you run into problems is when you are trying to go to RV resorts in really popular areas, especially by national parks, and they fill up quickly. And so this is January. This is going to happen in April. So in a lot of terms, we're probably really late. You probably should be planning these things out at least 6 months ahead if you want to stay in actual campgrounds, RV campgrounds. So the more you plan out ahead, the better you are and the easier. I mean, before we started this whole full timing thing, we used to own a timeshare. And the timeshare, we could never get into it. And we were complaining like, man, we bought this timeshare, we can't ever use it. And they said, oh, well, you've got to plan out at least a year in advance if you want to use your timeshare. And so we kind of got in the habit of making plans and just throwing things out onto the calendar wherever, just so that we had things reserved. And then if that doesn't work out, okay, it doesn't work out. Now, it's a little bit harder with RV resorts because a lot of RV places want you to put a deposit down, or even depending on the night staying, you may have to pay for the whole time that you're there. And so getting those refunds back can be difficult sometimes with some parks. And so you need to be really careful about that. But I'm telling you, if you plan out your life, you know, it just kind of all comes together just fine. And so, but the problem we have is this is as far as my trip planning has got. We're going to Carlsbad Cavern, and I'd like to do a couple other things probably in there too. And so this is where we need your help. A lot of you guys have been all over the place, or maybe you live in those particular areas and you know that these are pretty, you know, there's some pretty cool things that we would see. So if you could maybe give us a heads up, you know, send us some, you know, put comments down below, tell us the places that we should be visiting and stuff, that'd be great, because this is kind of what I've got right now. Once we leave here by Carlsbad, New Mexico, we're working our way down, and we're actually coming down through here to San Antonio. We do have a friend there that we're hoping to meet up with and just visit with them a little bit, but we're heading down here, we're heading down here to Padre Island. We want to actually camp on the beach. there. So we're going to try that out, see if that might be something we can get worked in there. We lived in Dallas for 3 years, and we always wanted to go to Padre Island, and we never ever made it. So this is kind of a thing that we'd like to do. We took our kids to Carlsbad Cavern. We had fun there. So we're just kind of redoing that, you know, adventure and seeing. I mean, a lot of times it's hard to have the same effect. You know, I don't know if you've ever noticed that if you go someplace and it's just really, really cool, and then the next year you go back and it's just a dud. You know, you just can't, you know, redo those really cool things. And so I'm not sure if Carlsbad will be that way or not. I mean, we did love watching the bats and things like that, so it'll be fun. We're going to try it out and see. But, you know, other than that, these are a lot of areas we have not been into. So we're going all the way from Padre Island through Houston, and we're just going to work our way across. And we're actually going to hit all these different states in the southern area down here by the Gulf. And then eventually we work our way up here into, or actually at, Warner Robins. Now the plan is we're going to stay there 30 days. Actually, let's see, what do I have on here right now? If I look over here on the left, you can see I've put some nights on here. If I take the 180 nights that we're going to stay, then I have to figure out you know, how many days we can stay at each one of our stops. Now, to drive all the way to Warner Robins, and then we're actually going to go up to South Carolina to see our nephew, and then work our way back across a little bit higher north of where we went across at. Anyway, that mileage comes out to 5,183 miles. I divide that. Basically, when we travel, we don't really want to drive more than about 3 hours a day. So I'm kind of figuring 180 miles a day to travel all that distance. So if I take the 5,183 and divide it by 180, I come out with, you know, roughly 30 days of travel. So if I take the 30 and I divide it by the 180 nights, that's how many nights I can stay at each spot that we are going to stop at. So, but I still have to fill in the spots. So all I know right now is we for sure would like to stay in with our daughter. If I come down here right now, I have 21 days sitting there. I just arbitrarily put that number on there, but we'll have to find out from them how long they can stand to have us around. And since we're in our own RV and we're just going to park next to their place, it might be a little bit easier. But anyway, we have to fill that in. And so if you look all the way across here, this is where we really need your help, because there are some cool things I know going across this whole route, and you know, we just don't know. And if you remember in some of my past videos when I was talking about how to plan the RV trip stuff, we do some searches where we say quirky wherever we're going to be, and we try to find things. But you know, sometimes that works pretty good, but I'll tell you, you know, word of mouth, you know, references from other viewers and other people that have been here mean a lot more. And you know, you find some really cool places that sometimes you know, you would never know about. So here we're going to go through Memphis. Let's see, we're going through Nashville, over through Memphis, and since we lived in Dallas, we're working our way back to Dallas because we do have friends that live in Dallas that we want to stop and see. I'm not sure about driving the rig around, you know, Dallas. It's got the last time we were there, it's been a long time. How many years has it been? 30 years? It's been like 30 years since we've been to Dallas, and we went back because we used to live by Six Flags, and we went back to drive by Six Flags, and we missed it completely because they actually added a whole nother freeway into there before, you know, from what we used to know when we did live there. And so we were on the wrong freeway, and so we missed it. And so I'm sure in 30 years things have really changed a lot around there, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see when we actually get there. But you can see that we have a lot of distance that we're covering and a lot of cool places that we're going to be stopping at, like right here. How about Roswell, New Mexico? I don't know what's there, but you know, you hear all this stuff about aliens, so maybe we'll go there and see if we can find some aliens. So we do want to stop there, and then we're going to, you know, get up here to Albuquerque so that we can hopefully, if things work out, we're going to try to look at the Balloon Fest again. Maybe be either help a crew or be down on the field if Escapees has a thing going on. we may actually be able to get in there this year. We don't know yet, but that's kind of the plan there. And then we're going to work our way up to, we want to go over to Sedona. This last summer, we were in Sedona for one night. This time we want to actually go and spend quite a few days and kind of check out the area quite a bit. And then from there, we're going to work down through Phoenix back down to Yuma. So that's our whole trip this summer. And so you can see that other than gas stations, the map is pretty limited. And so on things that we're going to be stopping and seeing. So we need help there. And it's going to be interesting. I calculated out our gas. I figured, I did an average about $3. Gas is a lot cheaper in the East than it is in the West. Now, I have no idea why that is the case, considering, especially, like in Texas, and I mean, all these states over here on the West have, big oil refineries. So why is gas so much here? I mean, right now, gas in Yuma is up to $3.70 a gallon. Sheesh, back east, and I went through and I put the prices on each one, but $2.80 a gallon. I mean, that's almost $1 difference. Why is that? I just don't understand it. But hey, the cheaper we can get gas, the further we can go. But if you remember, based on this video that I showed our budget, we only budget $200 a month for gas to be driving. But I calculated up, I'm probably going to end up being about $600 short to be able to get all the way back to Yuma. So we're going to have to do some things, work some odd jobs or something to earn some extra money to kind of fill in those budget places so that we can make sure we have that all budgeted out before we take off. And so I'll have to start doing some RV repairs, I guess, and see if we can make up some money to populate our budget. But anyway, that's what our trip is going to be, and so we're really excited. I mean, I tell you, 2022 is anytime we can go see new places. We have now been full-timing 4 years, and we've been all over the West, and at least from the Rockies this way, right? Rockies to the ocean. We've been all over that. Not necessarily a lot in California. We've done some in California, but not all over. We'd love to go to Yosemite and a few things like that. But yeah, we haven't done all that yet. And to be honest with you, there is a ton of stuff that we still have not seen in the West. But we really haven't seen much in the East at all, especially the Midwest. And so we're going to kind of concentrate on that whole area. Most of those states. We've been in Dallas. We did drive through Kansas a little bit, just trying to get up to, Colorado and over to Salt Lake when we drive back to see family. But that's, we've never touched any of the rest of those states. And so we're going to kind of just drive out through there, see what it's all about. Hopefully dodge tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever. I don't know. It's going to be summer, so you never know with the weather. That'll be something new for us to have to watch out for. So it'll be pretty exciting. We're gonna just try out all this new stuff, and it's a little scary in a way because we don't know anything, and that's why we're hoping that you guys will help us out. So please put comments below. Let us know what places you've gone to and what you think are the best, even if you don't live there but you've just gone through there. Whatever the case, please let us know. We'd love to check it out and just kind of see what's going on a little bit, and just get to see some new areas of the country. So anyway, but we'll get that all fixed up, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to have lots of fun, and we still have tons of things here at our resort in Yuma to do, and a lot of friends that we've made. So we're just having a great old time this winter. I got to remember this is winter because today it was 70 degrees, and it's actually getting warmer as the week goes on. So anyway, with that said,
summer will be summer.
Yeah, this summer will be summer. It will be here fast. By April, it'll be 110, I'm sure. So we'll be sitting here sweating. So we got to enjoy the cool weather while we can. So, but anyway, with that said, thanks for watching the video. Hope that we'll see you down the road somewhere, and maybe it'll be on our next video. Take care.